Imagine, right now at this very moment, you hold an extraordinary power, the power to transform your life's greatest challenges into your most profound victories. This power isn't something distant or mystical. It's already inside you, waiting to be awakened and harnessed. Today, we embark on a deep exploration into the heart of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has empowered countless individuals across centuries to thrive in adversity, to find calm and clarity amidst chaos, and to cultivate a life rooted in resilience and wisdom. Picture the last time you faced a situation that truly tested your patience. Maybe it was a difficult conversation, an unexpected setback, or a moment of self-doubt. How did you respond? Did you feel swept away by immediate emotional reactions, or did you pause, gather your thoughts, and act in a way that reflected your deeper values and intentions? This distinction, reacting versus responding, is where the true power of Stoicism reveals itself. The Stoics, ancient philosophers of Greece and Rome, understood something timeless. While we often cannot control the events and circumstances that come our way, we have absolute control over how we interpret and respond to them. Our inner world, our thoughts, our choices, our attitudes, is truly ours to command. This ancient wisdom teaches us to focus our energy not on external things beyond our control, but on what lies firmly within our grasp, our reason, our virtues, and our deliberate choices. In this first part of our journey, we will uncover why training your mind to respond rather than react is not merely a technique for keeping cool under pressure. It is a profound transformation of how you experience life itself. Imagine the freedom that comes when you no longer become a prisoner to every impulsive feeling or thought that arises. Imagine living anchored in calm, clarity, and intention, no matter what storms rage around you. We'll begin by diving into the core philosophy of Stoicism, the clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. By understanding this, we lay the foundation for a resilient mind and a serene heart. Then we'll explore the common traps of reaction, those knee-jerk impulses that often escalate conflict, cause regret, and drain our energy, and how the Stoic mindset guides us away from these traps toward thoughtful, wise responses. To bring this to life, we'll reflect on real-life scenarios, moments when emotions surge, when tensions rise, when the urge to react impulsively tempts us, and how the Stoic approach invites us to pause, breathe, and choose a higher path. This practice is not about suppressing emotions or pretending challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about cultivating a profound awareness of your internal world, recognizing your feelings, understanding their roots, and then intentionally deciding how to act. As we progress, you'll learn how this awareness becomes a tool, a steady compass in the chaos, guiding you toward actions that align with your values, your long-term goals, and the person you aspire to be. So join me now as we open the door to this powerful mindset. Together, we will unlock the first keys to training your mind to respond, not react, and in doing so, begin crafting a life of resilience, wisdom, and peace. Let's start with the simple but life-changing insight the Stoics held dear. Focus on what you can control. Everything else, the actions of others, unexpected events, even your own initial impulses, lie outside your direct control. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. The natural reaction might be frustration, anger, anxiety. But the Stoic asks, is this reaction within my control? Can I control my own attitude? Yes. By shifting your focus from external obstacles to internal choice, you begin to regain your power. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, but an active participant in your life. This shift is not easy at first. It requires practice, patience, and compassion for yourself. But each time you pause, reflect, and choose your response deliberately, you strengthen this inner muscle. In our next segments, we will explore how to cultivate this strength through mindfulness, self-awareness, and practical strategies inspired by Stoicism and modern psychology. For now, I invite you to gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath you. Remember, the power to transform your experience lies in your mind, in your choice to respond with clarity, courage, and calm. This is the journey to mastering your mind and your life. Let's continue together. Now that we've opened the door to the power within, the power to choose how we meet life's challenges, let's dive deeper into a crucial distinction that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy: the difference between reacting and responding. To react is to be swept away by the first surge of emotion. To act impulsively, often unconsciously, in a way that may later bring regret or escalate conflict. Reacting is automatic. It's a fire that blazes without thought, ignited by external stimuli and fueled by our primal impulses. Responding, on the other hand, is an art. It is the deliberate, thoughtful pause between stimulus and action. It is the space where reason, virtue, and self-mastery come alive. Imagine yourself in a tense meeting or a sudden confrontation. The initial reaction might be anger, defensiveness, or anxiety, powerful emotions demanding immediate expression. Yet what if, instead of letting these emotions dictate your behavior, you created a small but powerful pause? In that pause, you observe your feelings without judgment. You acknowledge the urge to lash out or withdraw, but you choose not to be enslaved by it. You bring your reason into the equation, asking, what is the most constructive way to act here? What aligns with my values and long-term goals? This practice, to respond rather than react, lies at the heart of Stoicism. The ancient Stoics knew that while external events often happen beyond our control, our internal landscape, our thoughts, our judgments, our choices remain ours to command. It is within this inner citadel that freedom lives. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once wrote about the space between stimulus and response, that sacred moment where we can exercise our freedom to choose our reaction. Training your mind to respond means cultivating awareness of this moment and strengthening your capacity to act with intention. But why does this matter so much? Because countless moments in life, from small daily irritations to major life upheavals, are lost to reactive chaos. Stress, regret, fractured relationships, missed opportunities, all can be traced back to our failure to harness this pause. Responding mindfully transforms not only how we handle conflict, but how we live with ourselves. It nurtures patience, empathy, resilience, and inner peace. It shapes us into people who act from strength rather than fear, from clarity rather than confusion. Let's explore some common examples. Picture a scenario where a colleague makes a critical comment. Your first reaction might be defensiveness or anger. But by responding, you first take a breath, reflect on whether their comment contains truth, and then decide whether to engage calmly or let it pass. Or consider a sudden setback, a failed plan or lost opportunity. A reactive mind may spiral into frustration or self-blame. A responsive mind accepts the event, assesses what can be learned, and takes measured next steps. This practice of response over reaction requires training, just like any skill. Fortunately, Stoicism offers practical guidance for cultivating this mindset. Central to their teaching is the concept of virtue, living according to reason, courage, justice, and temperance. When we anchor our responses in these virtues, we elevate our actions beyond momentary emotions. Moreover, Stoics remind us that emotions themselves are natural and important signals, not enemies to suppress. Rather than denying or ignoring emotions, we learn to understand their origins and let reason guide their expression. Through this lens, responding becomes an act of profound self-respect and wisdom. So how do we cultivate this skill? It begins with self-awareness, the ability to observe our thoughts and feelings as they arise without immediately acting on them. It requires mindfulness, the practice of staying present and attentive to our inner world. And it depends on deliberate practice, intentionally pausing to consider our choices in moments of challenge. In the next parts, we will unpack practical strategies to develop these capacities, including mindfulness techniques, reframing perspectives, and daily reflection. For now, I encourage you to consider your own life. Where have you noticed moments when reaction ruled? How might a pause, a mindful response, have changed the outcome? Remember, this journey is about progress, not perfection. Every moment you choose to respond thoughtfully, you strengthen your mind and deepen your peace. Take a deep breath now and feel your capacity to choose expanding within you. Together, we continue walking the Stoic path, from reaction to response, from chaos to calm. Welcome to the next step in our journey, cultivating self-awareness and embracing the power of the pause, two foundational pillars that allow us to train our minds to respond rather than react. The Stoics believed deeply in the value of introspection, the deliberate practice of looking inward to understand our thoughts, feelings, and motivations. This kind of self-awareness is not about self-judgment or harsh criticism. It is about becoming a careful observer of our inner world. Why is this important? Because without awareness, our emotions and impulses often operate like a storm, chaotic, overwhelming, and out of control. But when we become aware of these internal movements, we create space to choose how to act. Think of self-awareness as the light shining into a dark room, revealing hidden corners and making the unfamiliar familiar. When you are aware of your thoughts and feelings as they arise, you gain a vital edge, the ability to recognize early signs of emotional reactivity. You notice the rush of anger, the pang of anxiety, or the sting of disappointment before they hijack your mind. This recognition is the first and most essential step in mastering your response. Alongside self-awareness, the Stoics taught the profound value of the pause, that brief, intentional gap between stimulus and action. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on this gap, reminding himself to delay the impulse and bring reason to bear before acting. This pause doesn't have to be long, even a few seconds, enough to take a deep breath, to ground yourself in the present moment, can shift your entire trajectory. In those seconds, you disengage from automatic reactions and re-engage with conscious choice. Let's practice this together now. Imagine a moment that recently challenged you. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Now imagine that moment again. But this time, as soon as the triggering event happens, you take a slow, deep breath. You allow yourself a pause, a calm, steady moment before responding. Notice how this simple act changes your experience. The emotional intensity diminishes, your mind clears. You feel more capable, more in control. This pause is a practice of presence and patience. It is the breathing space where your highest self meets the challenge. Over time, this habit of pausing becomes a powerful tool, a way to break the cycle of impulsive reaction and foster intentional living. But how do we cultivate this pause consistently? The answer lies in mindfulness, the practice of anchoring your attention in the present moment with openness and curiosity. Mindfulness strengthens self-awareness by training the mind to observe without judgment. Through simple exercises like breath meditation, body scans, or mindful observation of daily activities, you build the mental muscle needed to recognize emotional triggers early and choose your responses thoughtfully. This practice aligns beautifully with Stoic values, living in accordance with nature and reason. Rather than being tossed by every passing feeling or external event, you become the steady captain of your mind, navigating life with wisdom and calm. As you deepen your self-awareness and cultivate the pause, you'll notice shifts in many areas of your life. Challenges that once felt overwhelming become manageable. Conversations that might have escalated into conflict become opportunities for understanding. Your inner landscape grows quieter, clearer, more grounded. To support this growth, consider setting aside a few minutes each day for mindful practice. Start with observing your breath, noticing each inhale and exhale without trying to change it. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath. This simple exercise trains attention and anchors you in the present. In addition, try a daily reflection. Review moments from your day when you reacted impulsively and imagine how you might have responded differently with a pause and awareness. This ongoing self-examination mirrors the Stoics' practice of evening reflection, a powerful tool for growth and self-mastery. Remember, this journey is gradual. Every moment of self-awareness and every pause you cultivate strengthens your ability to respond wisely. It is a lifelong discipline, one that leads to greater freedom, peace, and effectiveness. So as we conclude this part, I invite you to breathe deeply and affirm your commitment to becoming a mindful observer of your mind and a patient master of your responses. The power to transform your life is here, within you, in these moments of choice. Together, we will continue building this strength in the parts ahead. Now that you've begun cultivating self-awareness and the pause, it's time to explore two transformative Stoic strategies that deepen your capacity to respond rather than react, reframing your perspective and focusing on what you can control. Life constantly challenges us with unexpected twists, frustrations, and setbacks. How we interpret these events shapes our emotional experience and our ability to act wisely. The Stoics taught us that by consciously shifting our viewpoint, by reframing, we can reduce the emotional charge of a situation and open ourselves to new possibilities. Consider this. You encounter a difficult work situation, a project derailed, or a critical comment from a colleague. The natural reaction might be to see this as a threat or personal failure. But what if you reframed it instead as an opportunity for growth, learning, or demonstrating resilience? This shift in mindset doesn't deny the difficulty of the situation. Rather, it transforms your relationship to it. You move from feeling overwhelmed or victimized to feeling empowered and proactive. Reframing helps you detach from the emotional storm and observe the situation more objectively. It's a skill that grows with practice and mindfulness. Here's a practical way to start reframing. When faced with a challenge, pause and ask yourself, how else can I look at this? What positive or constructive meaning can I find here? Sometimes simply reminding yourself that this too shall pass, or that this challenge is part of a larger journey, can ease emotional tension. Another core teaching of Stoicism is focusing relentlessly on what lies within your control and releasing attachment to what does not. Imagine the difference between investing your mental energy in changing external events, like others' opinions or unforeseen outcomes, versus focusing on your own judgments, choices, and actions. The Stoics urged us to accept that we cannot control everything, but we can always control how we respond. This acceptance is not resignation, it is clarity. It frees you from wasting energy on futile efforts and channels your power where it truly matters. When you focus on what you can control, you nurture calmness and efficacy. You become like a skilled sailor who adjusts the sails to the wind rather than futilely trying to command the weather. This mindset shift can profoundly reduce stress and frustration. As you practice reframing and focusing on your control, you'll find your emotional reactions soften. You begin to meet life's challenges with equanimity, a steady, balanced mind. This balance allows you to act in alignment with your values and long-term goals rather than short-term impulses. It also enriches your relationships. By responding thoughtfully and focusing on your own conduct, you model respect and understanding, inviting others to do the same. Incorporate these practices into your daily life. When you face a difficulty, consciously ask, what can I control here? What attitude or action is mine to choose? Practice seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. Remind yourself daily of the Stoic wisdom. Some things are up to us, others are not. With patience and commitment, these perspectives become second nature, creating a resilient foundation for wise response. To close this part, take a moment to reflect on a recent situation where you felt reactive. How might reframing your view and focusing on what you control have shifted your experience? Hold this reflection gently in your mind as you prepare to take the next step in our journey. Together, we are building a mind trained to respond with wisdom, calm, and courage, no matter what life brings. Now that you understand the importance of self-awareness, the pause, reframing, and focusing on what you can control, it's time to explore practical mindfulness techniques that bring these concepts into your daily life. Mindfulness, the art of being fully present, lies at the core of Stoic response. It anchors you in the here and now, allowing you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment and to act with clarity and intention. Let's begin with breath meditation, a simple yet powerful practice. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you wish. Bring your attention gently to your breath. Notice the cool air entering your nostrils as you inhale and the warm air leaving as you exhale. Feel the rise and fall of your chest and belly. If your mind wanders, which it naturally will, kindly bring your focus back to your breath without frustration. Practicing this regularly strengthens your attention and trains your mind to return to the present whenever distractions arise. Breath meditation builds the foundation for the mindful pause between stimulus and response that the Stoics valued so deeply. Another practical exercise is mindful observation. Choose an everyday activity, perhaps drinking a cup of tea, walking, or washing your hands. Engage fully with this activity. Notice the sensory details, the warmth of the cup, the sound of your footsteps, the sensation of water on your skin. Observe your thoughts and feelings as you do this, without trying to change anything. This practice deepens your awareness of the present moment and cultivates a calm, grounded mind, ready to respond thoughtfully. A more advanced technique is the body scan meditation. This involves bringing gentle, focused attention sequentially to different parts of your body, from your toes to your head. As you scan, notice areas of tension, discomfort, or relaxation. Simply observe without judgment. This practice connects you deeply to your physical self and helps release stored emotional tension that can trigger reactive impulses. The Stoics often reflected on bodily sensations as natural, but ultimately separate from rational choice. Through body scanning, you develop the ability to acknowledge physical sensations without letting them dictate your actions. Mindfulness also enhances your interactions with others. When you listen with full attention, without interrupting or planning your response, you create space for genuine understanding and empathy. This presence aligns with the Stoic ideal of respecting others as rational beings navigating their own challenges. As you integrate mindfulness into daily life, you create a resilient mental environment where response flourishes over reaction. Start small, just a few minutes each day. With consistency, these moments accumulate, transforming your awareness and your ability to choose wisely. To support your practice, consider setting gentle reminders throughout your day to pause and check in with your breath or your senses. Use moments of waiting, at a traffic light, in line at the store, as opportunities to return to presence. Remember, mindfulness is not about emptying your mind, but about observing it with curiosity and kindness. This non-judgmental awareness is a powerful ally on the Stoic path. As we close this part, take a moment now to breathe deeply and feel yourself anchored in this present moment. Know that each breath is a chance to reset, to choose, and to respond with wisdom and calm. You are cultivating a mind that is clear, grounded, and resilient. With these tools, your journey toward response over reaction grows ever stronger. Welcome to the final part of our journey, the practical application of everything we've explored so far. Now that you have learned about self-awareness, the power of the pause, reframing perspectives, focusing on control and mindfulness practices, it's time to weave these elements into the fabric of your everyday life. Living the Stoic way means embracing response over reaction, not just as a concept, but as a consistent way of being. Imagine this. You're faced with a challenging conversation, a sudden disappointment, or a stressful situation. The impulse to react impulsively arises: anger, anxiety, frustration. But now you have a toolkit to meet that impulse with calm clarity. The first step is intention. Begin each day with a mindful moment, a simple reflection or affirmation. Set the intention to respond thoughtfully throughout your day. Remind yourself that challenges are opportunities to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. This small act of commitment plants the seeds for meaningful change. Next, cultivate the habit of pausing. When you feel triggered, whether by a sharp comment, a setback, or inner turmoil, pause. Take a slow, deep breath. Allow space to observe your thoughts and feelings without rushing to act. Ask yourself, what is within my control here? What would a wise, calm version of myself do? This pause is your gateway to choosing a response aligned with your values. Another key practice is reflection. At day's end, take a few minutes to review your responses. Celebrate moments when you responded with thoughtfulness and grace. Notice moments when you slipped into reaction, not to judge yourself, but to learn and grow. This ongoing reflection mirrors the Stoics' practice of evening journaling and self-assessment. It is a vital part of cultivating mastery. Incorporate gratitude as well. Recognize the progress you've made, however small. Gratitude nurtures resilience and keeps you connected to your higher purpose. Remember, embracing response over reaction is a lifelong journey, not a destination. It requires patience, compassion, and persistence. There will be moments of setback and moments of breakthrough. Each moment is an opportunity to choose anew. Finally, understand that your transformation ripples outward. By responding thoughtfully, you positively influence your relationships, your workplace, and your community. You become a beacon of calm, reason, and strength in a turbulent world. As you close this journey, carry with you the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control. Pause before you act. Reframe challenges as growth. Practice mindfulness daily. Reflect and refine your responses. Live with intention and virtue. Thank you for joining this exploration with Stoic Journal. May your path be rich with clarity, courage, and peace. Continue to choose response over reaction and watch your life transform in remarkable ways. Look to the screen now for further videos to deepen your understanding of Stoic living. May your journey forward be blessed with wisdom and calm.